Good morning, everybody in Coldwell Banker land. It's a gorgeous Thursday. Summertime is here. Raise of hands. Raise of hands. Who loves summer in Colorado? Anybody? Do we get any hand raisers out there? A shout out to all of you for attending this class. We're going to be going over the market report, the area report, and now the new and improved, the hugely awaited quarterly reports. So we're super excited about that. So the first thing I need you to do while I ramble on for a moment is to get into the NRT gateway. So whether you're taking notes and you're writing feverishly on a notepad or you're following along on your computer, you're going to get to the NRT gateway. So however you get there, whether it's the nrtgateway.com or you go to cbhninfo.com and click on the NRT gateway, you need to get to the NRT gateway. So as you get to the NRT gateway, and you'll see it here on my screen, you're going to find the market reports button on the NRT gateway. Mine happens to be towards the bottom in the middle. But yours could be anywhere depending on how your screen is formatted on the NRT gateway. So let me just kind of give you an overview of what the market reports entail and why we have that as an exclusive offer for you here at Coldwell Banker. So hopefully many of you are aware of the AVP, the Agent Value Package, that does two things. It protects and promotes our agent, right? And hopefully you have the brochure from either Katrina or your manager on the benefits and advantages and what's included in the AVP. As it relates to the promoting of you as a amazing Coldwell Banker Real Estate Independent Broker Associate, LLC, and LMNOP, something. One of our top priorities is to market you, to help you have a meaningful, purposeful reason to be in touch with your clients on an ongoing basis, because we know when you make contact with your client or your sphere or people that you encounter at open houses or what have you, the more times you're able to stay in touch with them, the better, because we know every 3 to 5 years, typically, people are making some sort of real estate change, whether they're relocating, whether they're upsizing, downsizing, divorce, kids, whatever. We know that something circling the housing related piece of life is a sure bet. So staying in touch with your people all the time is super important. So there's two things inside the AVP as it relates to promoting you. We have New Panda, right? So New Panda and the monthly New Panda e-blasts and the opportunities for you to reach out to your people, to talk to them, to connect with them about anything other than real estate, so completely unrelated to real estate, whether it's the Night at the Rockies coming up on July 18th, which right now you should be promoting that out to your people, inviting them to attend the Night at the Rockies. The tickets are $9 a piece for you to reach out to your people and offer them. So hopefully you have the details on that. We can get you more if you need it. Raise your hand and Katrina can circle back. But the Night at the Rockies or the sweepstakes that we just wrapped up with the Amazon giveaway and so on and so forth. We have a monthly reason for you to reach out to your people and ask them, invite them, talk to them about something that's not real estate related. So that's one part of the AVP and promoting you. The other part of the AVP promoting you is the market reports, the area reports, and now the quarterly reports. And those are specific to real estate. So it gives you it puts you in the position of a real estate professional, the real estate authority that has good market stats, data, information relative to where they live, or areas that they may be considering moving to or from, or if they're out of state and they're relocating to the area. When you see these market reports, they really make you shine as it relates to real estate. Okay, so hopefully by now all 5,000 of you that are on the call have made it to the gateway and have clicked on market reports. Is that a fair assumption, Katrina? All right, so here we are at the dashboard of the market reports. And what we're going to do, I'm going to assume that many of you may be first timers and have never even set up your profile on the market reports, okay? And that's going to be kind of the look that appears when your reports go out, okay? So I'm going to click on a quick report, nothing for you to do currently, but just I'm going to show you what we're going to work on first so it looks super sharp and professional, and you are putting your best foot forward. So here's what a market report looks like. We're going to get this image put together. You're going to be able to choose what the photo is. But most importantly, working in your profile, we're going to put this piece together right here. This is your signature block, your contact information, just because obviously when these start going out to all your people, you want to be well presented, well connected, okay? So just a visual, that's what we're after. And then we'll start working on the reports themselves. But here we go, ready? So top right corner, I want you to go to where your name is in the drop down, click on the profile. Okay, click on the profile, drop down, whether you're writing your notes or you're following along. You're going to see your first and last name grayed out. That's coming in from a feed. You can change it however you like in the preferred full name field. Put in your designation, so real estate professional, realtor, independent broker associate, whatever you do to best market yourself as a industry leader, a real estate professional. Your email address grayed out, coming in from a feed. If you don't like what you see there, type in your preferred email address if you want to have that overridden. The same for your website address, if that is either blank or a different website address that you want to have. Maybe you want your InTouch website or whatever, go ahead and type that into the preferred. Okay, so that kind of sets up your overall just general information and contact information, okay? So then the other thing is your photo may or may not be appearing here, and there's a chance that if it's not appearing here, that it still may appear in the report once we have it, which would be getting pulled in from somewhere else, okay? But if you need to or want to upload a photo of choice, this is where you do that by selecting Attach Files, find it on your hard drive, and then simply attach it. Take note, it cannot be any larger than 1 megabyte, and 200 pics by 300 pics is the preferred size of your photo, okay? So if you have your photo already set up for New Panda and you like that file, that's about the same size file that would work for this being a electronic option, I guess. So moving along, office phone number, preferred phone number, cell phone number, whatever your phone number is that you want to use in the marketing of your contact information. That's where you would do that here. And then moving down to the social media piece of it. So what I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to open up my report again, and I want you to see what we're going to be working on next from a visual standpoint, okay? So here we are. Here's your little social media icons that run across the bottom of your signature line or your signature block. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that you either do all of them, feature all of them, or none of them. Mainly because, or at least a substantial number of them. Because the last thing you want to do is have like a little Facebook dot circle sitting there and nothing else. It just looks really weak. So my suggestion is to always, put your best foot forward and be engaged and connected with your social media icons, and I'll show you how to do that right now, okay? So I'm going to click on, actually I'm going to jump back. So the first one is going to be, okay, I'm going to go back to my profile because that's where hopefully you're still sitting, and we're at the social media section of the market profile, okay? And with that said, Twitter. In the event that you're not actively tweeting or tweetering or you're on Twitter, my suggestion is to use our Coldwell Banker Twitter account that we've already set up for you to, feature or however you want to go about doing that, okay? And that is twitter.com/Coldwell Bank R, okay? The letter R, so there's no E. Don't put an E in there, even though you really want to, because we are Coldwell Banker. But this is Coldwell Bank R. So twitter.com/Coldwell Bank R, capital C, capital O. And that will get you to your Twitter account for Coldwell Banker. If you happen to be on Twitter and you got your Twitter handle, knock yourself out. That's where you'll enter your Twitter handle. But you can take a look at what we do for Twitter and all the different followers and posts and tweets and twits and all the things that we do for you on your behalf, even though it's taking a long time to flow in and feed into this dang thing. Oh, the beauty of high-speed internet, right? Are we on a dial-up? No, I'm kidding. That shouldn't be like that. But anyways, here we are on Twitter. So you can imagine pictures and stuff would be coming in, and it is just totally riveting when it actually works. So that's the beauty of live Katrina TV. Katrina TV, I heard that for the first time yesterday. People are calling this Katrina TV, which I think is hilarious and awesome. So watch out, NBC. She may, overtake the TV airwaves and shut everybody else down. So
whatever gets you guys here.
I know, right? So, all right, so that's Twitter, right? Twitter, LinkedIn, you have your own LinkedIn. Hopefully you've figured out LinkedIn and you're actively on LinkedIn. So do not use my LinkedIn, but I'll just kind of put my LinkedIn up there so you can see what LinkedIn is all about and what it looks like and so on and so forth. So just, put your LinkedIn. Make sure your LinkedIn is there. So it's going to be linkedin.com/ whatever your handle is there. I'm not going to go too deep into that because you'll be able to figure that out. And if you don't have LinkedIn, don't worry about it. Someday you'll get there and you'll be able to paste it into your LinkedIn field. Okay, so I'm going to dive back into now the profile, and we're going to be looking at Facebook. So many of you probably have Facebook, and many of you may or may not want to share with your people what you do on Facebook from a business standpoint. So in the event that that is something that you're not comfortable with, but you do want to connect on Facebook with your people in the signature block, you can use our Coldwell Banker one, which we update pretty much daily with a interesting post or in some kind of interaction with the Facebook world out there. And that is facebook.com/CB Colorado. And you can see all the different cool things that your people would link through to. Again, nothing to do with you per se, but all about the real estate industry, lifestyle happenings, Colorado happenings, and so on and so forth. So facebook.com/CB Colorado, you can take note of it. And in the event that you're not a blogger and blogging and staying active on a blog and taking unbelievable amount of time that it does involve to keep a blog current and so on, we have a full-time staff sitting behind the curtain actively doing that just for you right now, real time. So here's our blog that you could use. I would recommend you use coloradohomestyle.com. And it's all about Colorado. It's all about homes, lifestyle, fun things happening in the great, amazing place that we live in. And here are different articles and home and lifestyle articles and Colorado living articles and so on and so forth. Okay, so feel free to link through to coloradohomestyle.com. So one thing I'm going to do, I just want to kind of share with you quick a little side note on how you could easily take advantage of some of our articles and share our articles for your own social media purposes, okay? And this is a little sidebar note, little extra credit for being a part of this Katrina TV session. So what you'll do is you're on the blog, you have an article that you like, that you want to share on your Facebook or social media account, and you click on the link to the article. This one's help make your college-bound teenager dorm feel like home. kind of fun, kind of cool. And I'm scrolling to the very bottom. At the very bottom, you'll see a bunch of social media little icons. One that I came across yesterday that I had no idea existed was Sumo Me. Did you ever hear of Sumo Me?
No.
Sumome. So when somebody in the class yesterday Googled it, and it's something about enhancing your SEO. So that's a whole different session on Katrina TV that we will come to you live on someday, maybe. Don't count it. so anyhow,
let me become an expert first.
I know I got to go figure out what Sumo Me is. It seems like it's. I just feel like I should be in these big underpants doing wrestling with a big guy across from me that would just pin me in 3.2 seconds and flatten me like a pancake. So.
And maybe that people would come to watch.
Yes, I bet you your ratings on Katrina TV would be like. Off the charts. It may even break the internet at that point. Okay, back to serious business here. We are at the blog. We are going to share a post, and you're going to click on the Facebook or whatever your social media means you want to. You click on the little Facebook post down at the bottom. You make a little comment. Is your teen going to college? Is your teen going to college? Blah, 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 okay? And then, is it all right if I post it to your wall?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to post it to her wall now, and as a result, with very little effort, it went to her wall. So let's see, how do I get to your wall? I'm in where's your Facebook? Can I get to that sucker?
Yeah, you should just be able to.
I probably can just type in facebook.com and it'll just be sitting there. Okay, got it. We're on to things now. We're cooking gas. All right, so then I'm going to look at your 1 year ago today, doggies and stuff. Neat. I always love the 1 year ago today reminders, right? So here's the article that I just posted. And again, this is a sidebar note. This is a little extra credit. This is something special, but something that you may not have known, and you heard it here first on Katrina TV. So that is how you share our blog posts, and you can go back and delete it or whatever you want to do. Or you can find out whose teen is going to college this year. All right, so that is the blog, okay? I know I got a little off course, but coloradohomestyle.com is the blog. And then lastly, Pinterest. If you're not pinning and Pinteresting and actively a pinner, Pinterest.com/CB Colorado. We got you covered. And that's where you'll want to type in Pinterest.com CB Colorado, much like the other social media sites. We'll make sure it looks amazing and puts you in the spotlight of Pinterest excellence. So here it is in all its glory, okay? All right, so that is the social media piece of it. Now, layout. We're going to move to the layout, okay? And there are 30 or so different layouts of how your report, your market report in particular, should or would appear. So you have different images, different looks, different styles that you can choose from. I happen to have the balloon, as you noted earlier. Here are flowers in the summer mountains in Aspen, and a house being built in the Boulder Flatirons in Denver, and lakes and lighthouses. Probably doesn't apply here too well, but there are 31 different options for you to pick and choose. So decide which one you like, either now or later. And then also, you can upload your own, okay? So this is where you can upload your own photos if you like. If you're at a great backdrop of Fort Collins or Loveland or Colorado Springs and Pikes Peak or Longs Peak or Mount Evans or downtown or wherever you want to do, if you have some amazing photo that you want to represent your cover, then by all means, that's where you do that, okay? So you upload them here, your sizes of the images and so forth, okay? And then moving down, we're going to be working on the, so as you have the different market reports or area report, or I'm jumping into a report, so on the screen you can see what I'm talking about, but there is preset intro text, okay? It's preset intro text that is there for you, that introduces, actually it's not appearing on this one, not interesting, so I'm going to close that puppy, and I'm closing it, thank you. Let me see if it's over here. Please don't mess with me on live Katrina TV, it just is not fun. just not good. Typically, if all goes well, it will have some copy. Oh, there's the copy right there. So here's some copy that we've preset for you, and that is what those fields are back in your profile that I'm going to jump back to. So hopefully you're already sitting there and you're looking at them, but this is the language that's already preset. The other thing is I'm going to show you what the importance of this line is. So remember this line, and that's for your own personal reports that you'll use on social media. All right, so closing here, going back to hopefully where you're at in your profile and the language that's already set for you for the different reports. No need to mess with it. You can always tweak it if you want, but be very careful not to go beyond the character counts that we already have set for you. So these character counts, 550, 438, so on and so forth. You want to stay pretty close to that number or under it. Otherwise, when it comes time to print these, and if you've gone on forever in your intro, it could start dropping off the page and printing on page 2 and all that nasty stuff. So don't go too crazy in your intro. You may want to tweak it ever so slightly, but just know that that's what that's all about, okay? So by now, hopefully you've made all the nice little fine-tuning tweaks, everything for your profile, and you have it looking nice and sharp. Click on Save in the upper right corner. Make sure you click on Save before you exit this space. And then we will move on to Contacts. Okay, so click on Save, and now I'm going to have you click on Contacts in the upper left sidebar. How are we looking out there in Katrina TV?
Good.
Any questions, comments, shout outs?
No, but you guys can definitely chat in any questions.
Questions. So now that you're hopefully at Contacts, we're going to set you up with your own contact in the event that you have not already set yourself up as a contact. Because I want you to start receiving these reports before you start sending them to your people, right? Because you want to get a feel of what they look like, feel like, how you receive them, and so on. So I'm going to click on Contact, New Contact. And when I click on New Contact, it's going to open a new window, and you're going to type in your own first name, last name, first name, last name. And when you do that, it's going to set up your salutation for you. You can change that, but what I want you to do right now for your own personal contact that you're setting up as, I want you to hold down the Shift key and the underline key, okay, which is right next to the 0 button. So the little button to the right of the 0 in your keyboard, hold down Shift, hold down the underline key, and create a line as such, okay? And that is the line I said for you to keep in mind 2 seconds ago. That is going to be ideal for your personal reports that you would share on social media, because obviously when you are able to take these reports that you're going to create and send and receive, mainly this one for yourself, you can put it on social media, and you don't want it to be addressing all your friends and fans and people that would be clicking on your report with Dear Todd or Dear your name, but instead the underline gives it that nice look, and it's also the workaround, if you will, to get it so there is no salutation. So something has to exist in that space, and you can't just have spaces, so you can't hit the space key and assume that's going to work. You have to actually physically put some kind of digit in there. So the underline button is the best way to go. All right, so that is why the underline works best there. Put in your primary email address. That's your personal email address. For your clients going forward, you can add additional ones. So if you have spouses or investors or whatever additional email addresses, you can add two additional email addresses, and that's where you'll want to do that here for those that you want to make sure get the report at the same time, okay? All right, so you're going to put in your email address, and then you're going to click on Save and Close. No other additional information below is needed, phone numbers and all that jazz. Just click on Save and Close. I'm clicking on cancel because I don't want to have another one of my contacts sitting there. So by now, hopefully you've seen, or you see your contact sitting in there. That's you yourself. You can edit it, you can trash it, you can look at it, you can do whatever you want. And you'll see that in time, right now you probably have a bunch of zeros or maybe nothing in these spaces, but over time you'll be able to start seeing what people are doing and how often your reports have gone out, okay? So that brings us to a market report. I'm going to now click on market report. Make sure you're clicking on market report, and we're going to create a market report for you. Now, these are super intuitive and very powerful from the standpoint of the information, the data, the graphic demonstration of what the market is doing in select or custom areas for you to hone in on, to send to your clients or farm or people that you're working with that are looking at buying or selling or working in certain marketplaces. This is the money. This is where it all goes down. So you're going to first name the report, and you're going to name it, what do we want to name this report? Who's on here that wants to be featured in the city of whatever? Anybody? Takers. Shout out, what city? This is an interactive session of Katrina TV. Yellow.
You've got Lakewood.
Lakewood in the house. Lakewood market report. And then you're going to put in there dash the Smiths or dash whoever the report is being created for. Because in time, you're going to start hopefully creating multiple different reports, and you're going to want to make sure you know, ooh, this is for the Smiths on Lake Street or whatever. So you can keep it all kind of organized and tidy. Otherwise, after a while, if you just start throwing out and throwing up reports and making reports, it's going to get very confusing and not knowing who is what report attached to. Okay, so name it the Lakewood Market Report dash the Smiths or dash your name or dash your client's name and so on. Okay, we're going to skip over search criteria for the moment and come right back to that. You're going to click on Browse next to Contact, and you're going to find your name, yourself as the contact in this particular case. Obviously, as you start to set up reports and set up contacts, you're going to add multiple contacts into this system for your people to start sending reports to. The one thing that you don't want to do is take your new Panda list and dump it into this system. That would be really bad. That's not what this system is about. It's about cherry picking, customizing, and servicing your clients specifically as it pertains to those clients that are looking to buy or sell or move or do whatever in certain areas. So this is not designed for just a blast out to everybody on a certain report. All right, so find yourself as the contact. I want you to select on email frequency for this one every day. So change it to 1 day. When you're working with your client, you're going to want to probably ask them how often they want to get such a report, whether it's weekly, every 2 weeks, so on and so forth. Okay. Then from there, so make sure yours is 1 day. You can decide whether you're working with a buyer or seller, prospect, investor. Somebody asked about adding the past client yesterday, so we might be able to see if we can add a past client. And then back to the language that we talked about earlier, where you're not going to mess with your character counts. Whatever one of these you select, the introduction paragraph will tie back to whatever it is that you've selected. So if they're a seller or buyer, the introduction letter paragraph will speak to that and the fact that they are whichever one of these you have chosen. So prospect is kind of the generic, all-encompassing. They may not be actively looking to buy or sell right away, but at least you're able to word it in a way that it's general. Okay? All right, so in the future, you'll want to definitely make sure that you're copied on these reports. For this one, I don't think you'll want to do that because you'll get it twice. You can always ask your clients in the future if they want to receive this report up until a certain point in time, and then that would be an expiration date that you can enter, or you can do that right now if you only want to see this thing for a week or 2 or 3 or whatever. Decide when you want it to expire. the number of listings per email that come in. Obviously, 100 is a lot, but there's two parts to this deal. The more listings that you select, the better sampling of data that you're going to get. Okay, so obviously you're going to be able to pull in more if you're a little bit broader and have a more vast array of listing information that you're going to pull on versus the lesser. But the only thing there is that if there happens to be a ton of listings, then your reports are going to get very long and extensive with lots of listings in it. So you may want to kind of think about going into the 50 or so mark as far as the number of listings that are going to be pulled in the report. You can officially name the report whatever it is that is going to be titled. So you can title your report. So you can say, the Smith's custom report in Lakewood, for Lakewood, whatever, okay? So that's where the actual report will be titled in the headline of the report that's sent out. This one up here we talked about is actually for your knowledge, and when it lists out all the different reports, this one is customizing it, so it's the Smith custom, the Smiths. How about apostrophe S? Smith's custom report in Lakewood. And then from there, you don't really need to do anything else as far as creating your report when it comes to these fields, right? So now we're going to go back up to search criteria. We're going to click on the field or edit. And now this is where you get into the nuts and bolts of what are actually creating the report itself. So you can go in and create a report surrounding an address, surrounding an MLS number. You can decide what kind of radius you want it to stem out from there. You can have actives and under contracts. You can do solds. You can do expireds. You can pull in withdrawns. You can change the number of days back and so on and so forth. You can get as granular as from high to low on the list price, whether it's single family, whether it's income, residential, and so on. So you can become very specific in how you want to customize these reports by entering these various fields. I am going to skip over this, and instead I'm going to go to map search, because this is where it really gets fun, I guess you could say. And it allows you to hone in on specific areas and maps. Now here is the kind of the field or the window that we just looked at before. Hopefully we'll be able to get the programmers to one day compress this automatically instead of having you to click on the double arrow buttons. So we're hoping that someday we'll be able to get that to work with our programmers. So instead, we're still going to have you click on the double arrow buttons and have you remember to click on the double arrow buttons so it will compress that window, which is inconveniently showing up. And hopefully we can get our programmers to change that someday. So that said, compress that field, and then we're going to focus on moving the map around with your mouse and the little hand thingamajiggy. And that said, we're going to look into Lakewood because we are doing a report for the Smiths in Lakewood. So here's your little drawing tools, right? Little drawing tools that you can draw on the map. So I'm going to click on the rectangle. You have the polygon. Polygon allows you to draw a line from one point to another. So if you want to be specific in drawing a line from here to there to there to here to everywhere, you can do that with the polygon. I selected the rectangle, so I clicked my mouse button in the map. I've released it. So I've released the map button, or the mouse, and now I'm dragging my mouse, and I'm just going to type in Lakewood. Not sure why that comes up like that because it's really irrelevant, being that we've already named it. So now you're going to see the map autofill with the data and the listings based on the criteria that we've preset. In this case, I've kind of left it wide open. I'm going to get all expired, all solds, all actives, all so on and so forth. Okay, as it's going to pull in from this, in this case, Metrolis. If you're in different markets, Iris, etc., it's going to pull from your local MLS. And because I have a fairly broad range of information, and I think what I do, 50? I think I did 50 listings. Sometimes it takes a little while to pull in that information. In fact, you may already be sitting there looking at all the little pin dots. But since we're on a super high-speed dial-up connection, oh, I know. I'm sorry, Katrina. Now you have nothing to do with it. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a sip of my coffee and smoke a cigarette while
and twiddle the thumbs.
As we spin and wait and wait and wait. I don't know if I can compress it a little bit. Maybe it will speed this sucker up just to get in. Okay. Ooh, something's happening. Something's happening. We are cooking with gas here on a beautiful Colorado Thursday, June 15th. By the way, if you have any winners for the sweepstakes that just wrapped up, today is the deadline to get us your W-9. W-9 sheet from your clients that would have won a prize from the previous sweepstakes. Oh my gosh, this is really taking longer than it should. Not a good representation. I'm going to bring it down. Okay, here we go. Now we got dots and numbers and boxes and everything else. So these are all little listings and so forth. You can click on all of them and look at them as you like and so on and so forth. But that that's how it looks when the report is being initially generated on the surface area that you've selected, right? So you can compress it, reduce it, as you saw here, and then you can expand upon it and so on, right? So now I'm going to click on OK, right? So we got the report looking sweet and spiffy. It's going to pull in the radius, the longitude, latitude, and all that funky stuff. It's going to show you, withdrawns and expireds and 180 days and all that. So something happened here, which is a good thing, right? So now we're going to click on Preview Report. Clicking on Preview Report, then it takes you to the report itself, and now you can look at what the report is going to appear like. And for some reason, mine keeps cutting off my photo. Do you see that? Can you see that on your screen? Are you looking at it? No. Okay. Anyways, for some reason, mine keeps cutting off, which is really not a good way to present and train on, because that is not how it should appear. Hopefully yours is not appearing that way, but for some reason, mine is doing that. So here's the report. Here's what it looks like. Here is the market summary. So you got your actives, you got your under contracts. These are all clickable links. So if you click on one of them, it will, as a consumer experience, take you into this listing. They think this is your property. That's the way it's marketed, even though it isn't, of course, but you're the authority representing this information. You can also, as a consumer, click on the pin dot, and Google Map will take you into, I'll show you what it looks like in a second.
Yeah,
you saw it before, where right
we're
here.
like a minute lag.
Oh, well, up here it's like cutting off, and it's nothing. It was doing that yesterday in a live session. It's just something quirky with Y. I mean, that's how the trainer's presentation should look, right? It should look messed up. So I'll have to get with the folks back at the front that does all this stuff. So back in the map, right? So hopefully you all know what Google Street View looks like. So you can take the little yellow guy, orange guy, gold guy, drop it on the home, and it will take you into street mode from a consumer standpoint. Pretty cool. Inside, now again, this is inside the report still, right? So we're inside the report. We've gone down to now a particular property, and this is a home they like. And now we've moved the little Street View guy over to the property, and Google Street View, which is unbelievable, allows you to scroll and roll and drive up and down the street. So here's kind of, it's somewhere in here, one of these units, probably that one there. But you can even get really fancy and drive further down the street and act as if you're doing, light speed through the neighborhood without even having to push on the gas. So that's how that works. Little sidebar note on how the Google Street View looks and works from a consumer standpoint. So again, here's the report. We're well into the report. There's all your graphs. Here's the active listings and the photos of the properties and so forth. So if you like what you see here, we will close out of the preview mode. Let me just quick show you before I click out of preview mode. Click if you want to use this for social media, all right? And here's the line that we created, right? Super important in your salutation. If you want to use this for social media, you click on the having difficulty viewing this. It generates a web link, and then from there, you copy paste the web link that it created in the difficulty viewing this report. Generates the web link. You can copy paste this report right into your social media timeline on Facebook or wherever you want to go, and then you can generate the report and it will show up on social media, and you click on it and it goes right through to the report. And obviously hopefully mine will look better someday, but you've now just shared this on social media, and as I click on it, here's that line. That's why it's super important in your contacts to change your salutation greeting to a line, okay? So I'm not going to post it, but you get the idea how cool that is to be able to bounce into social media world and share this, okay? So closing the preview window, now you would then send this report out to your people by clicking save and send report, okay? Save and send report. I'm not going to do that because I just don't want to get another report, but basically clicking on save and send report, and it will then send it to you, and you'll start getting it every day until you decide to shut that baby off. So that's how a market report works. Super intuitive and consumer friendly. That is the market report. Area report, now we're going to get into the area report before we get into the quarterly report, because I have 15 minutes, right? And the clock is ticking. I'm getting the 15-minute look. Like, start wrapping this baby up. Any questions out there in Lakewood land or anywhere else spanning the globe here on Katrina TV? So now we're going to do our area report. So area report are great because this really hones in on sub-areas, subdivisions. Market report, you can drill down to active inventory, active market conditions, real time. Area reports are generating and aggregating the data from the month prior. So it's month to month in a specific area. So I'm going to name the Lakewood area report for the Smiths. Okay, so same thing as before for the Smiths. Okay, and so you're going to name it so you know who's who and what's what. You're going to find yourself as a contact, and you're going to select yourself as a contact so you can start getting this area report. Now you're going to receive, you should receive the first area report today right away, but beyond that, your area reports are going to come out the first week of every month, and it's aggregating the report or the data from the month prior. So in that said, you're going to want to make sure that you always copy yourself when you're sending a report to your clients. So right here where it says copy agent, say yes, because you're not going to want to think about, geez, when is my area reports for the Smiths coming out? And the last thing you want to do is have them receive the report, you're not aware of it, and they start asking you questions. Or better yet, you can be prompted to reach out and contact your clients about, hey, the area report just came out for Lakewood. Did you see it? It's amazing. And all that fun stuff. Another reason to reach out to your people. All right, so now we're going to click on Browse under Market Area. And the first thing that opens up is a list of market areas with Aurora and Brighton and all that kind of fun stuff, okay? I want you to click on the Search tab, because instead we're going to click on, or we're going to go to Lakewood in this case. You can do whatever you want with your own personal one that you're creating as an area report. And I'm clicking on Lakewood, I'm clicking on Search, and then all the sub-neighborhoods, sub-areas that we have that come in from the feed are going to start appearing. So you have the entire Jefferson County Lakewood, or you have the entire Jefferson County Lakewood condos and single families, or now you start getting into specific sub areas in Lakewood, Belmar, Cloverdale, Green Mountain, and so on. So I'm going to click on Belmar, and I'm going to get all the listings in Belmar, not just the condos, but it'll be both condos and single family in Belmar, because I think that is kind of a hot spot right now on the west side of town, Belmar, in Lakewood. All right, so then I'm going to click on OK. You can click on multiple sub areas as you like. And while this loads, the area report for you is amazing for farming. So if you're going to be farming an area, generate an area report, print it out, door knock neighborhoods and so forth. Or if you're sitting in an open house, put together an area report. You're the expert in the marketplace for that open house. Here's what's happening. If you're new to the area, moving in from out of state, whatever, you have something to hand them specific to the market that you are sitting that open house. And whatever else you want to do relative to promoting this and yourself in a specific farm area or area, okay? So we're going to click on Preview Report because we've generated the report based on Belmar. And as you see here, it has the cool cutoff photo. Why it's cutting off is beyond me. And so then here's the market report. Here's the language that we talked about and the character count. And now here's a different view or vantage point from the market conditions. Mostly graphs, static images, and you're going to want to take some time when you start receiving these to look at the different keys below and how the graphs coincide and what the different graphs mean, because they get a little swirly and crazy on you. So you want to be fully intelligent and up to speed on what the different graphs are, okay? So that is the area report. Notice there's no listings, there's no information specific to properties. That's the difference between the area report, market report. It's straight data graphed out. Now, to print this, all right, print this report or any of these reports, you can click on the PDF view to print, and it will generate a PDF which you then can print. So you want to make sure that you click on that button, view to print, and it will print for you, okay? So go ahead and print that out as you like from there and print out multiple copies in color. You'll notice the share social media. Do not use that. Do not use that to share this on social media. Instead, click on the, are you having difficulty viewing this report, just like the previous one that I showed you, copy paste this link into your social media. Don't use the share to social because it's a third party that's posting for you and it says add this, just share your report, and you don't want that. You want to make sure it's your own personal custom report that you have directly posted to social media as you like. All right, so that's the area report, perfect for farm areas, specific sub areas, neighborhoods, communities, and so forth. Save and send the report. I'm not going to do it, but you'll want to do that and then start receiving that report that you just created for Lakewood Area Report for the Smiths or whatever you did there. So I'm going to close that, but you'll start sending that report out. Now we're going to the quarterly report, and this is hot off the press. And we've gotten some feedback yesterday on a couple suggestions that I'm going to take to the programmers to see if they can add some features to add a few enhancements here and there. So if ever you think or see something you'd like to have done differently that may be a little bit better once you start getting into the market reports and or your quarterly reports, please let us know, and we can always make it better for you. So we're going to click on New, because we're going to create a new quarterly report. And as it processes and spins and turns and whirls and zooms and all that kind of fun stuff here on Katrina TV. Any questions out there, Katrina?
Nope.
Everyone's just enthralled and overzealous.
Watching an amazing trainer.
Oh my gosh, this is just incredible. All right, so this is going to be the quarterly report for Lakewood, or I'm going to say the Lakewood quarterly report for the who? Smiths? Should we just
Let's stick with the
should we
Smiths.
just keep it Smiths? So you're gonna name it quarterly report, Smiths, etc. Whatever you want to do. You're going to find yourself as the contact. There's kind of a theme here. Can you feel it? Can you sense that we're onto something? So you're gonna find yourself as a contact. And what's amazing is the fact that this is so ridiculously easy that it's a matter of a few clicks and so on that to be able to generate these reports and have them look as sharp as they do and put you in the light of the authority, it's pretty sweet. So find yourself as the contact because you're going to want to send it to yourself here. I'm going to click on moi, and then we're going to go into browse for the market report. Again, you're going to want to make sure that you copy the agent because these reports are going to come out the first week after the prior quarter ends. So in July, we will be wrapping up the second quarter, and that is when the first report would come out in the event that you start generating reports, wrapping up the second quarter. One thing that came out of one of the sessions yesterday was kind of a calendar, a launch calendar or a send calendar or a send date be specific. So you're not sending first quarter report information at the tail end of the first quarter, but instead wait for it to go out in the second quarter. All right. So here are the different counties that you can select from. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the search tab because we are talking Lakewood, even though it'll pull up in, what is that, Jefferson County, I think. So we're going to do Jefferson County, Lakewood, and we're going to select that as a field or as a market area specific to the quarterly reports. And with that said, it should be all set to go. I'm going to copy myself in the report because you're going to want to be getting it once a quarter and not think about when it's going to go. You click on Preview Report, and you'll notice this report, different than the area report, is almost like a book. You know what I mean? It's almost like a book that you can print off. And these are totally print ready. That you may want to have handy at open houses or putting together a reload packet or whatever the case may be. Okay, but in the world of email electronic, it works even better because you're going to be able to click on these, whereas you print them off, it doesn't really work very well interactively. So it's better to be an email piece, even though these reports are pretty cool. And very informative relative to the actual areas that we've created. Now, in Jefferson County, and I selected Lakewood, here are the different cities in Jefferson County that you are generating this report on. Okay, so you'll see Jefferson County, sorry, I'm scrolling around here. Real estate snapshot shows you the number of listings up, average sales price up, median sold price up, and so on and so forth. Average days on market down, and then it gets a little bit more granular, okay? So in 4 minutes, because I'm getting the hook, you can see how the quarterly report aggregates the information, graphs it out, it looks really cool, and so on, okay? So that is how the quarterly report works, and if you like the preview that you saw, and you can click on the different Q for quarter, M for monthly, that your consumer will engage upon. That is how that works, okay, in the preview. So I'm going to click on Save and Send, or actually you're going to click on Save and Send. I'm not, and then that report will start sending out shortly here. You'll get the first one probably shortly, and then beyond that, you'll get it each quarter at the beginning of the new quarter, so the first week of the new quarter reporting on the prior quarter. Hopefully that's not so confusing and your head's like, what in the hell did he just say? Right here on live Katrina TV. Oh God, okay, we're winding it down here, right? She's looking at me like, you gotta wind this sucker up. All right, groups, you can select groups or you can set up groups. You can set up a group and start putting contacts into that group, so you can, if you have a sphere. And then analytics, this is where once you start generating reports, you could see what happens, who's done what, who's opened them, who hasn't opened them, who's deleted them, and that is the analytics part of it. So as we wrap up here, that is the how do you set up your profile. That's how you set up a contact. That's how you send out a market report, an area report, and the new and improved, hugely anticipated quarterly reports. You have more reports to start sending to your clients than you can stand, and it gives you the another reason from a real estate professional standpoint to send and communicate and provide reports and data and information to your people on a regular basis, and it is so easy, it's not even funny. So to be able to just make a few clicks here and there with your mouse or draw on the map, that is what it's all about. So if you need more information beyond what I went through here today, you can look at some tutorials, but it is pretty straightforward. So hopefully that was super informative, helpful, and you are up to speed on how the quarterly reports, market reports, area reports work as a part of your AVP, and you can go to town and start working on that right now and communicate with your people regularly with these reports separate of or in addition to the new Panda information that we send out for you the second Tuesday of each month. So there you have it. Have a great day. Thanks. Signing off from Katrina TV. Boom.
Boom.